Club, and I am here today with the fabulous and spectacular Doreen Steenland. Hello, Doreen.
Hello, thank you. Fabulous and spectacular. I haven't been called that in a long time, but thank you. You're sweet.
You should be called that every day because you are. So Doreen is from Living Full Life Coaching. And what Doreen does is she's a Christian parent coach for moms of teens. Isn't that wonderful? Hands up. Do you need a Christian parent coach for moms of teens? My hand's up for sure. So I want to tell you a little bit about Doreen and then let her take it away. But first of all, Doreen is here today to talk about the internal struggles as we navigate uncertain times with our teens. And she's going to shed some really valuable light on the things that we can do to support our teens, and just really understand our teens better. Which again, hands up, yes, I need that. So I'm very excited to talk to Doreen. But just to back up a little bit about Doreen, she helps moms be the one to love well, love themselves, others, and God. And I love that. And every time I talk to Doreen, she tells me, this is what I do. I help moms be the one to love well, themselves, others, and God. And that's beautiful. Doreen helps Christian moms focus on the internals instead of getting distracted with the externals. And I think we can all relate to that. She empowers moms with tools to help them reach their teens' heart so they can successfully launch and become world changers. Yes, this is what I want. So let's get to it. Doreen, tell us, what did I miss? Tell us a little bit about how you got into being a Christian parent coach for moms of teens.
Wow, great question. Part of what motivated me to be a Christian parent coach is that when I was a teenager, my parents did not know how to communicate with me. They did not know how to connect with me. And I think it was part of the time that we grew up in. And I said to myself as I became a parent that we could do better. And as I started raising my teens, I noticed that when I reacted in a certain way, they pulled away. And when I tried to connect with them empathetically, there was a bond between us, and things worked better. And I think that as coaches, as a parent, we all want to connect with our teens, and we want to be the one that loves well. And to love well means we are present with others, and we are there for them, and they know that we're there for them.
That is beautiful. Thank you so much. So you not only have the education to support parents, you also have the experience and lots of it. And I think that probably helps you be a great coach and really identify with what families are going through.
Thank you.
So today we're focusing on the internals as we navigate the uncertain times, any uncertain times, but gosh, it's uncertain right now.
Yes.
So tell us, Doreen, like, how do we not get distracted by all the behaviors that our teens are showing right now? So what the behaviors that we see, but you talk a lot about internal behaviors. Tell us the difference between external and internal behaviors.
Great question. So the external things that we might be seeing with our teens are eye rolling, disrespect, door slamming, withdrawal, fighting. There could be power struggles. You might be seeing more sneaky behavior than you've seen in the past, more arguing than you've seen in the past. All of these are the externals. And as parents, we want to jump on those and we want to correct it right away. But what we are neglecting to see at times is the stuff that's happening underneath the surface, the things that may be going on with our teens. it may be that all of these things are happening because they are missing their friends, they're missing their sports, they're missing structure, they have fears, anxieties. Maybe they're overwhelmed, maybe they're insecure, maybe they're feeling hurt or shame. Whatever the underlying symptom is usually what produces the behavior. And so as parents, I think it's super important for us to explore what's going on underneath the surface. I mean, the Gottman Institute has an anger iceberg, and I love that visual because what we see on the surface sometimes is just like an iceberg, right? We see just a little part, but underneath it could sink a Titanic, right? All the stuff that's happening underneath the surface can sink a ship. So we need to be miners for those nuggets that are being hidden by our teens, and not being hidden in a deceptive way. I think most times they don't even understand what is going on in their brains.
Yeah, that's right. Like these behaviors are coming out, and I know my kids specifically, I will say, why do you think that happened? I have no idea, they'll say. I don't even know. So like how do we help just understand what's going on in their brain, and realize too in uncertain times that they are stressed. But how do we kind of help to understand what is going on?
Yeah, and so I think one of the main things that we need to keep in mind as we're parenting our teens is that all of these behaviors, they are not doing them intentionally to us. And I think that starts, and that puts us in a place of empathy and compassion where we can look at our teens and we can put ourselves in their shoes, right? And when we look at others with empathy, it takes away the anger, it takes away the yelling, it brings us to a place of compassion, a place where, as a Christian, I believe Jesus would have us to be, right? I believe that Jesus dealt with people in compassion. He met people where they are at. And we need to be that way for our teens. We need to be meeting them where they're at. And when we're focusing on the externals, all we're seeing is the fluff. It's like going to social media, right? We see all this external stuff, but we really don't know what's going on with the person until we listen, talk, get curious, and explore what's going on underneath the surface.
Yeah, and that can apply to really anyone, any relationship that we have, right? Just to have more empathy and to try and understand their thoughts and feelings. It's over the last few months, it's been interesting in our house that um, you know behaviors will come up, and the times, like I can see it, the times that I've been quick to judge or tell them not to do that or get frustrated, it gets worse. And so I'm not, I feel, building kind of a connection with them and stopping and pausing and having that empathy for what's going on with them. And I know you do a lot of that in your teaching, where you walk parents through, like, how do you manage all these thoughts and emotions, and what would you say the first thing is that they should do then when this is happening? So now we know kind of what's going on in their brain, all these things, all these struggles that they're, and internal feelings that they're having. They're showing us externally by rolling their eyes and slamming doors. What can we do then? What's the first thing we should do to, in that moment? So teen walks into the room, slams the door. Well, no, they'll usually walk out and slam a door. They walk in, roll their eyes. What's the first thing we should do?
Yeah, I think it starts with managing our own emotions. And that's why I love working with moms, because the work I do with moms really helps equip them so that they can not only model for their teams how to react to stressful situations, but they can train their own teams. Because let's face it, as coaches, Jen, we don't want anybody dependent on us. We want to empower and equip the moms that we work with to be the leaders, right? We want them to be able to help their teams and really impact their lives in a way that matters. So the first thing you have to do is stop and pause, as you say. Pausing does something beautiful. When we pause and take some really deep cleansing breaths, that activates our brains to release a feel-good hormone. And it really just calms us down. If we sat here and took 3 deep breaths in through our nose and out through our mouth. I mean, even after one, I feel my shoulders going down from my ears,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because that is what our brain is doing. It's releasing those feel-good hormones so that we can self-regulate and manage our own emotions. So instead of reacting like, why are you treating me with disrespect? Now we're at a place of control where we can explore what's going on, right? What's underneath the surface there, right? And then you can approach it from many different ways. You can try and figure out on your own before you even ask them any questions. Like, what are some of the triggers that cause these stress responses in our kids? And there are at least 5 of them, which I'm going to go into in my webinar. They're threat triggers that our brain actually responds to. And right now, during this pandemic, we are all experiencing these threat triggers. So what we need most is we need to learn how to manage our thoughts and emotions, because our thoughts and our emotions create our results and our actions. So the result, if we're thinking thoughts of, why are you talking to me with disrespect? Why are you treating me this? Why are you doing this to me, right? The emotion that I get from that is anger, right? I get anger. And then the action is I yell, right? And then the result is your team is now your enemy and you're bucking heads and you've gotten nowhere because you haven't connected with them.
Mm-hmm.
So really the first step is the pause, and then there's the connection, the empathy part, the part where you are actually just connecting with them and stepping into their shoes, whether it be a touch on their shoulder. When you touch someone, especially your teen physically, they release feel-good hormones as well. And that calms them down. Now, some teens don't want to be touched. Some teens are like, leave me alone. What are you doing? Don't hug me. You know. But there are other ways to connect with them, right? You could sit down next to them on the couch and just sit there and be silent and not say anything. And they will get that same hormonal response from their brain of connectedness with you because you are there with them. You're present with them.
That is incredible. And I think, even just that one tip that you gave us today to pause
Yeah.
and breathe is so powerful and can make all the difference. And then that allows us to really put ourselves in their shoes, to kind of take a step back and say, what is really going on, and start building that connection. Now, I love that you brought up your webinar, because you have an amazing webinar coming up where you're going to walk parents through how to really navigate this time. So I'm going to post some links down below the video so that you can get into this video with or this webinar with Doreen and really dive deep into how to make this happen. Because this short chat we had right now, it has given me tools that I can use, but I know you have so many more. I know that we could go on and we could keep talking and talking about it. And it is the first step to pause and breathe. And I know that this webinar is going to be super valuable for parents and give them tools to really manage any time that their teen is struggling. And if you have a teen you know, that it's not one and done. It's it's
Yeah.
ongoing. Um, so Doreen, I want you to just you've given us now what we can do. Is there anything that you would want to highlight? Because I know we don't have much time to keep chatting today. I would encourage people to go and sign up for that webinar, but is there anything you want to leave us with today for the Christian moms that are raising these teens, that are trying to navigate these uncertain times? What would you leave us with today?
So I love this quote, and I'm blanking on who said it at the time, but the first act of love is the giving of attention. And I think that when we give our teens the attention, they know that we believe in them. And we cannot guide them if they don't believe that we're on the same team as them. So if we want to be our teens' main influencers, we need to connect with them. We need to have them know that we believe in them. We believe them to be capable, that we are on the same team and we are in this together. And that's where I really would love to leave today's conversation, because we are in this together, and these are uncertain times for all of us, and we're struggling to navigate it all, but we can do it together.
That's
Not alone.
beautiful.
Thanks.
Thank you, Doreen. And we are raising world changers, and we are raising adults. And someday we want to have a great relationship with our adult children. And it starts right now, right here, no matter what was done yesterday, or no matter what mistakes we make tomorrow. These tools can really help just guide us and remind us that there are steps you can take to create this beautiful relationship with your adult kids. So
Absolutely. Thank you. And it's not even just about the relationship. It is about equipping your teens with the tools that they need to be successful in life. Because let's face it, we want them to launch successfully. We want them to have emotional intelligence so that they can speak into the world events that are happening. As we look at society right now, we see that people are unable to communicate effectively. We see a total absence of emotional intelligence. And so when we do these things and we build into our teams emotional intelligence, they are now going to be equipped to make the changes necessary in our society to really make a difference in the world.
that's wonderful. Thank you. That's exactly what I want. So I'm signing up for your webinar. So
Thank
I'm going to
you.
post those links below. Thank you so much for being here today, Doreen. And I hope you come back and share more of your wonderful skills, talents with us.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
Bye-bye.